The time for that is long past.
Hey parents, Carmine here with your video review of Assassin's Creed 3.
Never mind the political ramifications of such an act.
The Assassin's Creed series has come a long way from the Crusades. After spending years in the Mediterranean, the Assassins have decided to venture into the New World. The Templars, an anti-assassin organization who wants to create peace through tyrannical order, are waging a new war for the fledgling American colony, and now only one young man can stop their advance. The Assassin's Creed games have always taken some historical fact and spiced it up with a liberal amount of artistic license. But even knowing this, I was surprised at how many famous events, situations, and details were crammed into this one game. Boston Massacre? Check. Paul Revere's Midnight Ride? Check. Lexington and Concord? Check. For those who have taken at least a rudimentary course on the American Revolution, this is an awesome way to see some of those events in action. The game does include somewhat frequent violence. The player can use a variety of weapons to attack and kill enemies. Since the player does not outright align with the Colonials nor with the British, he will be required on numerous occasions to kill both sides' soldiers. The player can buy and use different swords, axes, and knives, all of which can lead to some fairly brutal executions. Blood does go flying, but there is never any gore. I never used these weapons though. The few times when I used weapons aside from the default set, I used an enemy's musket. Otherwise, I stuck to the tomahawks, hidden blades, and open fists to dispatch my foe. While these sometimes yielded lower amounts of blood, kills performed via the hidden blade could get very bloody and violent. Yet I found that the game encouraged using hand-to-hand combat to take down enemies instead of resorting to using weapons. Not only did hand-to-hand combat lead to much stealthier combat overall, but it also took longer to increase the player's notoriety. The game includes a system of notoriety where guards will investigate and pursue the player even after combat has finished, which can make walking around without incident difficult to accomplish. Not only was hand-to-hand combat much less violent while remaining just as effective as using weapons, but the reduced notoriety made each mission much easier to accomplish. As a result, I preferred to use my fists for the majority of my combat. Even excluding hand-to-hand combat, the amount of violence in the game will be counterbalanced by a significant amount of non-violent gameplay. The player will spend a lot of time traveling from one location to another. Many missions and side quests will almost require the player stay undetected, which means reducing the number of enemy kills significantly. For every minute of violence in which I found myself, there was easily 10 to 20 minutes of non-violent gameplay or conversations. Because the quantity and brutality of the violence in Assassin's Creed 3 is severely outweighed by the non-violent content, we gave this game a recommended age of 14 years old. For the full written review, including the extra categories, log on to SideStoryGames.com.